River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Niner Nuts. I'm Dan, here along with James, just James, today. James, say hello.
Just James? That's not appropriate. It's James. Awesome, James.
I mean, the absence of Eric. We don't have Eric on this episode, unfortunately. And our names aren't changed, but it's okay. It is Danny or Indiana Dan. I almost said Danny Dimes. And then Mr. Jimmy B. We're here doing a parlay episode again, per usual. If you didn't notice, guys, we only did 2 episodes this week because we had some scheduling issues. We didn't tape when we normally do, and it's a whole thing. Anyway, I like to be transparent with you guys. We got you our recap episode. Now we're doing the parlay. So we'll do a bonus, whatever we call the middle episodes next week. But anyway, rambling out of the way, we are here, per usual, to let you know what our picks for the week are for our weekly parlay. Mr. Jimmy B, you started this segment, you founded it. You take the lead, and I will pull up our picks here. Well, not there.
Wrong. Yeah.
That was offensive player of the year from like 3 weeks ago. No, here are our parlay picks for the week, and Mr. Jimmy B, start leading the way through our ticket.
So, guys, we got an interesting bet this week. Parlay, giving you plus 2,100 odds. We still haven't hit a parlay. The closest we came, I forget when, but the Jets just needed the win, and they didn't. So here we are, still betting and still in the hole. But we're hoping that this one will line our pockets pretty nice. So the first thing that we have,
the house can knock us down, but they can't take us out.
Yeah. So CJ Stroud is not playing for the Texans. So we found that out. Remember, all these odds, since we are recording on Tuesday, are from Tuesday on Draftkings. So the Texans are no longer the favorites. They are the underdogs, and it's a short underdog. So we're taking the Browns at minus 122. Money line to beat the Texans, since the Texans don't have CJ Stroud. Cleveland has a hell of a defense. Flacco seems to win even if he is inept. So we're just running the hot streak. So
yeah, I always call a game my primary game when I'm watching Sunday at 1:00. And my primary game was the Browns and the Bears, and it wasn't pretty, but the Browns figured it out. And just with the state of the Texans the way it is, they just got hit with the injury bug at the worst time possible. If they were at home with CJ Stroud, I would pick the Texans in a heartbeat. But with how battered their roster is, and just the Browns keep figuring out ways to win. So I'm going with Cleveland too. They've not given me a reason to give up on them yet, and Cleveland's fighting tooth and nail to get that wild card spot. I think they'll pull it out.
Yeah, me too. I don't, without CJ Stroud, the Texans look pedestrian. And Cleveland's got a great defense. So
we need a bet on Stefanski for coach of the year, honestly. I think we need to really start having that conversation.
I mean, two winning seasons as the Browns head coach, first since Marty Schottenheimer in the 80s. Say what you want about him and the Browns. He has figured out a way to win, even though they've had like 4 different quarterbacks playing this year.
Yeah, I don't know, that after that win with the Browns and seeing that Joe Flacco is now 2-1 with them, like you said, the 4th quarterback. I'm not trying to belabor it, but Stefanski absolutely needs to be considered coach of the year, with especially once they get this wild card spot locked in. If they win out the rest of the way, I think it would be Stefanski's to lose. There we go. Got a little tongue tied.
Well, yeah, I think the Browns, I mean, they just keep finding ways to win. They live on the edge. Joe Flacco throws 3 interceptions, but still wins. It's crazy how they're winning. But
yeah, in this insane division of theirs too. The AFC North has easily been the most competitive division in the league.
Yeah, for sure. So with that being said, we're taking the Browns over the Texans. Next up, we have the Packers over the Panthers. The Packers are playing for their playoff lives. The Panthers really, they can only score 9 points against the Falcons at home. They don't have a home crowd. Packers fans travel well. I believe it will be a home game for the Packers in Carolina. Minus 225 for the Packers money line. That's what we are taking. Jimmy B, Easy E, and Indiana Dan. So
yeah, this was not a hard pick. It's not our most lopsided pick of the week, but I know the rain was a factor, but I shouted out all those fans in our last episode that actually went to the Carolina game and all that rain. You said that the Packers are playing for a playoff spot. Panthers are playing for dignity. Like they're basically trying to justify that they can still be in the league and still be contributors, whether it's a part of the Carolina rebuild or if they get shipped out somewhere else, because they're purging that roster too. I saw that Justin Houston just got released. Like, it's going to be a really interesting rebuild year next year for Carolina. And as inept as the Packers can look, they're not the Panthers. It should be a home crowd for it should be a home crowd for the Packers. It should be a bounce back game for them because their playoff hopes are still alive. Like, as long as they don't throw up over themselves and blow this game to Carolina, very comfortable picking them to beat the Panthers.
Yeah, and coming off that bad loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield, I don't think the Panthers are in that class with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as hard as it is for me to say that, and how bad the division has been. The Panthers has just been inept pretty much all season. Look for the Packers to win this one at minus 225.
Yeah.
So next up, we have an NFC North showdown between the Bengals and the Steelers. Steelers have Mason Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, starting at quarterback. And Cincy has been playing pretty well with their backup. So we're taking Cincy at minus 130 to beat the Steelers. The NFC North has been competitive, throughout this whole season. But the Bengals, Steelers, usually if it's inept quarterbacks playing, backup quarterbacks playing in Bengals, Steelers, the Bengals, I think usually have the edge.
Yeah, the way that the AFC North has been weird this year. It's so weird this year. But no, Browning's having his own little Purdy moment. Like I'm not convinced that it's going to take the Bengals all the way by any means, but no, the Pittsburgh Steelers are finally turning into the frauds that I suspected they've been the entire year. Like I know you can rewind a few episodes back and like me saying, well, I guess they're going to win the Super Bowl. Like, no, that got overblown. They've finally turned back into pumpkins. Mike Tomlin, no one's talking about it, but Tomlin didn't get a contract extension this offseason. He might get fired. And really,
Steelers firing a head coach? I didn't know that was even possible. Hell, Mayfield's over.
He didn't get an extension, and no one's talking about it. It happened way back in the summer, but no, the Steelers are just floundering. Like, I don't know. There's no better way to put it. They're floundering, and I'm confident that the Bengals will pull it out because I see no reason that the Bengals shouldn't win this game. Yes, division games there's intangibles and anything can happen, but there's no reason there's nothing that I've seen that has convinced me that the Steelers will be competitive in this game. On defense, maybe it'll throw Browning off a little bit, but I think in the end, though, that the Bengals will keep their wild card hopes alive.
Yeah, and at minus 130, this was such an evenly matched game. And we take the Bengals in a close one, but Bengals.
It's only that close because they're in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So anyway, going on, we have our most heavy favorited game. The Denver Broncos playing the New England Patriots in Denver at minus 298. We have picked the Denver Broncos to come out on top there.
This is Christmas Eve at 8:30, right? It looks like.
Christmas Eve at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, 8:18. Yeah, this is the Sunday night game.
Okay, so yeah, this is the Sunday night game. Maybe Malik Cunningham comes in this game. Who knows? Because the Patriots just don't look like a real team right now. and the Broncos have been surging since they lost, 70-20 to the Miami Dolphins. They're just a different team, and they're playing better, and the Patriots just aren't. And so we're thinking that the Broncos come out on an easy win at home on Sunday night.
Oh yeah, no, that Belichick keeps his defenses active. Like they're one of those defenses that they have a lot of good players, and they can hold you back in terms of points, but once the wheels fall off, they fall off. The defense can't do everything, and that offense. I don't quote. I'm not quoting statistics, but I think literally like the only worse offense in the league right now is the Jets. Like New England's just terrible. They rotate quarterbacks like musical chairs. It should be a nice bounce back game for the Broncos that just had a crushing loss this past weekend. I think this will be a get right game for them and keep their wild card hopes alive because they're not out of the race either, man. We thought they're the laughing stock a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. But no, they're as very much in the wild card race as the Bengals are. And no, this should be a get right game. I'm very confident in this pick too.
So you mean the offensive coordinator for the Jets really wasn't as good of a coach as everybody says he was? It's particularly a certain aging quarterback who pretended like he was going to come back for the season. I mean, yeah.
I say I have egg on my face. God, it's gonna be. I feel so bad for Saleh. Like he's playing the company man, and I just feel so bad for him, man.
It's sad because the only position that they didn't get right was quarterback when drafting, and I don't think I think Joe Douglas is a good GM. He just missed one pick, and it just happened to be the most important position that he missed on, trying to make up for it, getting Aaron Rodgers.
He swung for Aaron Rodgers, though. No one expected him to tear his Achilles on the 4th play of the game.
Yeah, but I mean, good GMs make good rosters, and you have to have a backup plan, and it can't be Zach Wilson. I feel bad for Joe Douglas because he's a former Eagles guy, and
I'll say I don't feel bad for Joe Douglas. I feel bad for Saleh, but
yeah, well, you feel bad for Saleh because he's a 49er. I feel bad for Joe Douglas because he's an Eagle guy. So anyway, don't bet on the Patriots. Bet on the Broncos.
Yeah, no. Back to the main point of this. So the next game, though, speaking of the Eagles, James, you really spearheaded this pick. Let's explain why we think this upset's going to happen.
Well, it's not an upset. I just don't think the Eagles are going to win by 12 points. I think the Eagles are most likely going to win. I don't have confidence in the Eagles defense, especially with Matt Patricia now as the defensive coordinator calling plays. I mean, you saw how well he did in the Seattle game, giving up a last-second touchdown. The way Jalen Hurts has been playing, I don't believe in the Eagles anymore. It's sad to say, but I don't believe in the Eagles, and I have a very tough time thinking that they're going to go out there and crush the Giants by 12 points. I just don't see it. I know it's at home. I know it's in the link. I know it's the Giants. I think the Eagles will win the game, but it's going to be closer than 12 points. And I think taking the Giants at, plus 11.5 at minus 110, I think is a very good bet for bettors, and they should be jumping on it. And also, we can't bet on it now because it's Tuesday. But if you're looking to that game for an easy bet Boston Scott anytime touchdown. Just bet it. It'll pay for your drinks at the bar, guaranteed.
Yeah, I wish we could have had that on the ticket. But no, you've sold me. I don't know these opponents quite as intimately as you do, but no, I mean from what we saw yesterday, I had to watch the highlights, but no, with the skit that the Eagles have been on and the surge that the Giants have been on, this is going to be a really interesting game. You guys have punched your ticket, and the Giants got mathematically eliminated this weekend, didn't they?
Yeah, but trust me, the Giants are always looking to ruin the Eagles' season. I mean,
yeah, since your division's far from locked up yet.
Yeah, they're always looking to ruin the Eagles season because the Eagles are their biggest rival. I mean, I want to say it was 13 years ago today that Miracle at the Meadowlands happened, and
Oh yeah, I saw that going around. Yeah.
like they're literally still bitter over that. I mean, so the Giants are looking whatever they can do to, if there's one game that they circle on their calendars of a team who the season they want to ruin, it's always the Eagles. It's always the Eagles. It's not Dallas. It's not Washington. It's the Eagles. And the Eagles don't consider the Giants to be their biggest rival. And that sort of makes New York even matter, you know? So yeah, they're like, you have to take us seriously. And I think the Eagles pull it out, but it's not going to be by 12 points.
Right. If you do win, it'll be by a slimmest of margins. I can get behind this too. The way that you guys are, your confidence is radiating into me, and I will agree. And I signed off on this being on the ticket, and so did Eric.
Yeah.
So I think then let's go to our last game, which we had to convince Eric to put it on the ticket. Like, I feel bad talking about him with him not on here, but we we had to convince him that this last one was a good bet. It's also not oh, sorry, just had to check that. It's also not a money line. It is a total, and we think that the 49ers and the Ravens are going to go combined over 46.5 points. I think it's pretty fair if you just split that down the middle, round it down to 23 each. Yes, these are the number 1 and number 2 in terms of points allowed. In terms of points allowed, yes, just looking at it just in raw numbers like that. But with the ceiling that these offenses have, I think I don't see it. I don't see how these teams are not going to just run over each other. I don't think this is going to be like a nail biter 17-17 or 20-17 game. Like, the way the Niners have consistently been scoring at least 30, if not 35 points, that's going to the Ravens are going to have to really prepare for our offense. But to the same degree, we're going to have to prepare for their offense. They just don't score consistently high like we do. Like, I mean, it's a very kissing cousins kind of game. But and you really strongly agreed with me too off mic that this game will definitely go over 46.5 points. I see it. I would like for it to be us scoring 35 points and they scored 10. I would love for that to happen. But you know, I just we're doing a point total this time instead of the spread. Me and Eric can bring ourselves to doing the money line for this game. We just I can do this. I can't do the money line.
Well, I mean, I mean the Ravens play up to their competition. So if the team aside from them has a good offense, that's when the Ravens score points. I mean, I look at this game, you know, like you said, if it's 24-23, we win the bet, you know, even if it's like that. And I think each team will probably score at least, you know, 20 points. So you're just hoping that somebody gets a touchdown here or something like that. And, you know, I believe the Niners get into the 30s at least. So, yeah, I think this is a good bet. And I like taking the over. I was the one who suggested it. I wanted to put money on the Niners winning, but neither of you would take the money line in the Ravens game. So
No, I emphatically sided with Eric on that. I could not bring myself to take the money line on it. Like, I don't consider myself superstitious, but I don't know, something about the money line on this one. I mean, part of me is just like, you put money on this game, that means so much. Like, I'm not superstitious, but I get where Eric's coming from at the same time. Like,
yeah, I get where you're coming to. The 49ers are the best team in football, and
yeah,
they have literally kicked the crap out of everybody they beat except for 3 teams, and that was at the right before the middle of the season. And since then, they just gone out there and consistently win by a lot. And I came on this show and I told you when they played the Cowboys, they were going to literally trounce the Cowboys, and they did. They trounced the Cowboys. So this 49ers team has my utmost confidence that they can go out and destroy anybody who is in front of them. And I think the Ravens could be one of those teams. I don't see necessarily the Ravens just going out there and, making this a tight game, especially since it's in Levi. And as of right now, I don't think weather's even going to be a factor. So,
Oh, it's
yeah.
gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be beautiful in the Bay. Last I checked, it's 8:30. It's gonna be cool, not cold. Shouldn't be raining. It should be pristine condition.
And hopefully it'll be Christmas Day when they play at 8 o'clock at night, and we'll be talking about how easy it was to hit this ticket, because that's what we're hoping. We're hoping that by Monday night we'll have hit on everything on this ticket, and we're just rooting for the 49ers to win in some sort of blowout fashion and get to 47 points as a total for the game.
Getting our first winning ticket for Christmas would be such a great present.
I know, because I want to buy so many cards.
Just having a little Christmas bonus. Like I'm not getting a Christmas bonus from my job. Not that I'm crap talking them. I'm not getting one because it's not like when I had my other job and they would give us little somethings. But anyway, I'm complaining about something completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
I think money is good. That's what I'm trying to say. Money is good.
And money won is so much sweeter than money earned. And so,
for sure.
We have to hit on one, eventually during the season. And so, I would say make sure you take the points with the Giants, and make sure you bet Boston Scott anytime touchdown as well this week.
100%. I agree too. So I think with that then, guys, we need to give a little shout out to our sponsor, our awesome sponsor that we've had this entire season, Royal Retros. So what is Royal Retros? It is your go-to place to get an authentic throwback jersey. They don't just have football. They have a little bit of everything, all the major sports, anything, almost pretty much anything that you would want in an authentic throwback jersey. They have it there. And for us Niners fans, if you go there right now, you can check out the Candlestick collection with a bunch of Niners and Giants themed merchandise there. San Francisco Giants for baseball, not the New York Giants. Anyway, if you find something nice that you like, go ahead and throw it in your cart and use the promo code Shady Sports to get 10% off of your entire order. Again, it's Shady Sports in the promo code when you check out to get 10% off of your entire order at royalretros.com. Go get yourself an authentic throwback jersey today. It helps out the channel. It helps out Shady Sports. Puts a little bit of money in our pocket, and you get a cool jersey. So yeah, go check out royalretros.com today. James?
Okay, guys, if you've seen recently in the news, it hasn't really been heavy in the news. It's just been little blurbs here and there. But basically, we're here to bring owner accountability. In recent months, the Houston Texans minority owner was charged with some very serious sexual crimes in Kentucky. And also the owner, Jed York of the 49ers, our COO of the Niners, is in litigation on a civil lawsuit for insider trading on a company that was helping students cheat during the pandemic. And the reason why we bring this up is because the NFL knew about these things, allegedly with the Jed York thing, for 2 years. We can kind of trace it back allegedly to about 2 years that they knew about that. And then also, the NFL knew for a decent, couple of months before they even commented on the Houston Texans minority owner. And so the reason why we bring this up is because as recently as this month, Von Miller, who has been charged with domestic violence assault against his pregnant girlfriend, we knew that before the warrant was served. And so the NFL has said that owner standards are supposed to be higher than player standards, but they're not acting that way. And we are saying that owner standards are actually less than player standards. Hashtag owner accountability, trying to make that go viral. And to show you we put our money where our mouth is, we are selling t-shirts for charity. Here is our statement that we are making owner standards less than player standards. Hashtag owner accountability. You can get that in different colors, different styles, different sizes, and the t-shirt starts at $22.99. Next, we have the owner standoff shirt. Dan Snyder in the middle, standing off with some of the other owners. $22.99 gets you that in the t-shirt. And we have that in a pullover hoodie, crew neck sweatshirt in all different sizes as well. Next, we have our podcast logo art. You'll find this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, our YouTube channel, anywhere you listen or watch to us. You'll find this. $22.99 gets you that in a t-shirt, and we have different styles and different sizes as well. Next, we have our alternate logo, the Niner Nuts logo. I have this t-shirt, nice quality. $22.99 gets you that in a t-shirt with different colors, and we have different styles and different sizes as well with that. And then finally, our Niner Nuts mascot. How can you say no to a peanut eating peanuts, sitting on the couch, cheering on the San Francisco 49ers? $22.99. Donate to a Kentucky Crisis Center today. Help out a good cause. Search Google Bonfire Niner Nuts apparel. It'll be the first link that pops up, or you can go in our show descriptions or go to our Twitter page as well to find those links. Donate to a charity and a good cause today. We take none of the proceeds. They all go to charity.
Yeah, you'll find the link in the show notes. I make sure they're always there. And yeah, like James said, we don't want any money for these shirts. We just want you to help out a family and get a cool shirt in exchange for that. The only thing that I saw news related that I saw that Aaron Rodgers, shocker, Aaron doesn't want to come back now. He's now saying just because he's medically cleared doesn't mean he's 100% healthy. Shocker.
Oh my God.
But no, I did a shout out to a reporter last week, and this week I'm going to do a shout out to all the. I'm going to be generous and say that there was somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 people, even though the photos I saw looked like there was only maybe 200 people at the Carolina Panthers game this weekend, and the downpouring rain and the terrible quality of game that they got. Just shout out to all those people. That was really entertaining to intermittently check in on that game and see the camera crews going out of their way to like avoid crowd shots as much as humanly possible. That entertained me while I was flipping between that and the Bears game. The Bears was the one I was primarily watching, but once I saw those Carolina Panthers photos trending on Twitter, I had to check in on that game every now and then. So yeah, shout out to all those guys that braved the rain and the terrible game that they had, even though they won. Yeah. I mean, congrats.
And the absurdly cheap tickets. It was 45 cents for a ticket on game day.
Yeah, on the low end. Yeah. Oh my God, dude. With concessions too. Like if you didn't care about the rain, you spend what? You take your family of 4 for $6-7 after taxes, and then you have all the rest of that money that you were going to spend on $200 tickets just for food and parking. Like, oh my God, I wish they'll never release what the numbers were. They'll never release what those numbers were publicly that they lost that day. But I tried so hard to find what the attendance was, but all I could find was that they issued 70,000 tickets, and yeah, right, they got remotely close to that in actual attendance. Did you see anything that you wanted to shout out before we sign out?
Just that we have been on the story about Jake Moody's extra point streak. We're the first ones on it, I would say, and we are still investigating that, and we are trying to find if Jake has ever missed or shanked. That's what we're trying to figure out, if he's ever shanked an extra point. This is still a continuing story with us. So stay tuned for that. With that being said, outro music, River Road, Justin Muth.
We will see you all on Christmas Day. Beat the Ravens.
River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long. River Road, where have all the women gone? Have they kissed her hand and waved you bye-bye? Have they thought about crossing your double yellow lines? River Road, they love the way you whine and cry.